As I was looking at my content calendar, I had an idea for a video that I was going to do today, but I completely canceled that, changed my mind, and I decided that I wanted to do this other video when I looked at the calendar and I saw how close we are to the start of Q1. It's October 1st. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to hop on here and just share some of my best practices as I'm going into the last quarter of the year and in preparation for the subsequent year. If this seems of interest to you, then definitely like this video, subscribe to this channel where I talk about all things writing. And also, when you're done watching this video, make sure you send it to someone within your network that you think it can help. I'll give you a second to do that, and then I'll introduce myself and we'll get started. All right, thank you so much. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Lynette Renee Doby, and I'm a professional ghostwriter, and I love what I do, and I created this channel to help other individuals who maybe want to go into this rewarding field of writing, and also individuals who may be wanting to take the journey into authorship. And if you just have an interest in writing in general, this channel is for you. And so once you subscribe, then you'll definitely be notified every time that I upload a video, and typically we'll get a video up on Thursday. So now that you know who I am, let's dive into the topic of this video. So like I said, I realized that Q4 of 2025 is quickly approaching us. And y'all, I was just like, I don't know if it's just me, but does it seem like this year just literally flew by? That's what I feel. So every single year in the past 5 years that I've been in business, this quarter has been often one of the most pivotal ones. I would say maybe actually second to Q1, because Q1, everything is fresh. And by the time we get to Q4, sometimes our energy has fizzled a little bit, but that is the whole dichotomy of the situation, because Q4 is arguably one of the most strongest quarters. So I'm going to tell you what I tend to do and like to do in Q4, and also what I'm going to implement into Q4 of this year. So number one, y'all, my first 2 years of being in business, this kicked my behind, but I did not do my tax prep like I should. Like, I'm fairly organized, and I normally write down all my earnings from all my clients. I don't do, of course, any payroll because I am a solopreneur and I am not in the tax classification that requires that I pay myself. But I do, of course, have to monitor every time funds go from my business to my personal accounts. But anyhow, I don't like doing that stuff. And I know that there's automation software and stuff like that, but I'm so small, sometimes I don't need to do it, so I need to do it. So I normally wait until Q4 to make sure all of it's done. And so all that entails is like me getting all my bank statements and everything together and just having all of the records that I need into either an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets, whatever you prefer. It's just really good to go ahead and get that stuff together, because April will get here before you know it. Tax time will be upon us before you know it. And then you don't want to be stuck and like, oh my gosh, I didn't do X, Y, and Z, scrambling for receipts, looking off for all your write-offs and all that type of stuff. So go ahead and get all of those items together so it makes an easy transition for you when you're in Q1 and April is upon us, because Q1 is mainly a big time for me, because that's when I'm onboarding new clients and I'm all excited because it's a new year and a fresh start. So I don't want to be thinking about doing bookkeeping. And if you're so inclined, you can probably go to Fiverr or go to another platform and hire someone to be your bookkeeper, whatever works best for you. But go ahead and get those books tight and get them right. Next, review all the things that you've done in this year for a strong finish. Sometimes we have our head down, especially if we're creative service providers. We have our head down and we're just working away. And when we pop back up, we don't take a time to celebrate the wins that we had. That client who was on the fence and we were able to convince them to work with us. That time that we wrote an Amazon best-selling book. That time we might have had a client who was difficult at first, but then they ended up becoming the best client that you had because you won them over when you told them about the process and the procedure of sharing their story. So however you write and for whomever you write, you have all these wins. And even if you're not a writer, if you're an entrepreneur, and this video found you, you're meant to be here, so welcome. But review all of your wins. And just as critically and with as much attention as you review all your wins, take a look at those losses too. Oh my gosh, I have losses every single day. I had a loss today of something that I could have done better in day-to-day life and also in business. We have those, but take note of those. I keep a little document in which I notate things that didn't go as well, or, you know, areas of opportunity for them to go better. Look back on those things and they will kind of shape your vision for what you want to happen, or any loose ends that you want to tie up in Q4. It's so important that as creatives who are also service providers, that we do those things to help safeguard us from getting into the same traps next year. Because a really good friend of mine told me, he was like, until you learn the lesson, you're going to keep seeing it, keep repeating it. So make sure that we learn our lessons so we don't take anything that we didn't really necessarily like in 2025 into 2026. All right, next, become consistent. At the top of the year, I set a goal. And so for me, my goal was, and I set it actually in Q4, I wanted to be more consistent on YouTube. And I started being consistent with YouTube videos October of last year. And since then, I've consistently done videos once a week. I don't think that I've missed a week. And so I want to keep that momentum going. I don't want to fall back on that. And so that's what I mean about being consistent. Whatever your wedge of awareness was for the year, whatever you wanted to initiate in your business, and even it could be a personal thing. Don't fall back just because when the holidays are going to start coming in Q4, you get relaxed. You might become a little chill like I have done many times. But I would urge you, instead of putting that foot so much on the brake, ease off that brake and go onto that accelerator and keep it moving. So another goal that I had was to network more intentionally and also effectively. And I worked hard at that because it doesn't come natural to me. I love to meet new people, but networking is such a mixed bag. I've done a video about networking, so definitely go through the channel, and I'll probably link it below so you can watch it. But networking was something that I wanted to improve upon and make fruitful networking connections. And so I want to still consistently do that, even as we enter into Q4, because you just don't know how those connections, you'll be able to assist someone and they can assist you as well. And they will pay off as you move into not only Q4, but beyond into 2026. So whatever you set your mind and your intention to at the top of the year, stay consistent with that. Because even today, I had a day and I was like, gosh, there's so much going on in the world. I didn't even allow myself to finish that sentence in my mind. It wasn't about me not really wanting to do a video. I was like, oh, I'm going to do my video, but I'm going to keep, positivity about myself. And we're not going to think about all the foolishness that's kind of going on right now. But that decision to go to that accelerator pedal instead of the brake is what I want you to do for whatever it is that you're working on in your business and in your endeavors. Keep that consistency going. You're almost there. You've come too far to give up now. You really have. I know it may sound cliche, but that's really what I mean. Don't give up now. Keep on going. Next, I put on my list, lean into networks. So my networking really became effective, I would say, within the last month or two, believe it or not. But when I got consistent with posting on LinkedIn, even when, again, it wasn't something that I really felt like doing, but my content has begun getting more traction than before. And now people are wanting to know a little bit more about my service and my offering. So whatever way that you network and whatever way that you show up in terms of content creation, lean into that. When people like your posts, ask them, what did you like about it specifically? Wherever you're posting, it could be on Twitter. I'm sorry, I know it's X, but it's still Twitter in my mind. It could be on Twitter. It could be on LinkedIn. It could be on Alignable. It could be on whatever platform that you are using to tell people about what you do. It could be on your Facebook business page. Get involved with the people who are following you, because like I said in other videos, they are your people. Like the 2 to 5 to 7 people who consistently watch my videos, y'all are my people. And shout out to you all, and hello. You all are my people. I show up every week for you. So lean into that, your network in that way, and also lean into your network with regards to the connections. I mentioned about how earlier this year, that was my intention to make more. when people connect with you on whatever platform that you're on, thank them for connecting with you. Doesn't have to be something cheesy, doesn't have to be something contrived or long, but just say, hey, I appreciate you joining me on this journey, or thank you so much for liking my content. What was the most appealing thing to you? And then you all know I'm a huge fan of Driven Spice. That's her name here on YouTube. Her name is Cinnamon, and she did a LinkedIn workshop this past weekend, I believe it was. Yes. And she said, if you want to connect with your ideal client, then send them one of your posts and say, hey, I noticed that, let's make it in context of me as a ghostwriter. I noticed that you mentioned that you're thinking of writing a book in 2026. This post may align with some of the things that you're thinking about. Tell me what you think about it. It doesn't always have to be directly moving into that marketing space and sales, the sales space, because you are marketing yourself. Let's not get it twisted. But it doesn't have to move into that sales space immediately. Build the relationship, nurture the person, because cold outreach is weird. Not weird, but it's just kind of an interesting sort of action to take, no matter how you look at it. But lean into the nurture instead of jumping right to the sale. And I've mentioned this in other videos, but I really like the way Driven Spice mentioned that in her video. Just send some of your posts. Get some conversation around what it is that you do naturally, because again, you're setting up some relationships that will grow over time, not only in Q4, but in 2026. Develop a crystal clear picture for what you want in 2026. Develop a crystal clear picture for what you want in 2026. I'm going to say it one more time so it sinks in. Develop a crystal clear picture of what you want to accomplish in 2026. At the end of the quarter, I would say maybe midway through quarter 4, I get pen and paper, or I'm in my digital notebook here, and I write down what I want to achieve for 2026. And I'm very intentional about it. I talk about how much I want to make each quarter. I talk about the type of individuals that I want to engage with and build and fill my network with. I talk about new initiatives that I want to create. I talk about new products I want to take. Oh, and I want to talk about that next. So I'm going to write that on my list. And I said products I want to take, but I meant make, because I do want to take a second to go over that next. But I get narrowed in, laser focused on what it is that I want to do in my business and the vision that I have for that. And I try to, I only make choices and decisions that are aligned with where I am going. Like, for instance, I'm working on the development of a product, and I remember myself sitting right here at my desk, writing down what I wanted that product to do, who I wanted the product to be for, and the release time of the product. And as my intention and my choices would have it, I'm in alignment with that. I'm on target for what it is that I'm building. And that's because I set the vision in the past for it to happen and for it to be so right now. Because I think that that's the power of the written word, which is why I love being a writer as well. You can say a lot of different things in life. Heck, I say a lot of different things in life, but I think when you put pen to paper and you write it down, it makes it so. So I encourage you at some point in Q4, after October 1st, or you could even start now, begin to envision what you want for your career and for your company and for your endeavors. And shut out the noise, because people are so quick to tell you what you can and can't do. No, you know what you can do because you've made it so in your writing. So just really take that time and be calculative, be intentional, and write down what you want for 2026. And then I added something to the list, the products. So within Q4, some really strategic dates, not just for retails, but just retail spaces, but strategic dates for sales in general. There's a lot of service providers who have Black Friday products. It could be a consultative hour with you that maybe you would have charged $500 for it, and maybe for Black Friday you're going to charge $350. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out, but capitalize on the opportunity of the time of the year that falls within Q4. People will make it seem like, oh, no one's spending money. Things are tight now. It is what it is with certain things, but there's some people, they're not affected at all. It's all about mindset, and they're not affected by any sort of limitation when it comes to budget. And you shouldn't even be thinking about limitations. If you have a Black Friday idea, go ahead and start working on it now, and then you should begin marketing it, I would say, a little bit into October, mid-month maybe, and then that way you can build up some attention until Black Friday. But take advantage of people's jovial and nice spirits in Q4 around the holidays. You never know, it could really work out for you. I remember I was freelancing with someone and they had a Black Friday pick your own price sale. So all of her services, she allowed people to select from a drop-down menu how much they wanted to pay for them. So you never know, someone could have been waiting to employ you, but they just couldn't quite afford it, or maybe it didn't work out in their budget. But at the end of Q4, especially if your clients or corporations or whatever, whomever, they may have a budget that they need to expend before the new year comes in. So you never know, they could be looking for you. Build it. If you build it, they will come. Like the movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So definitely keep that in your mind. And I believe that is the end of my list. I just really hope that everyone who comes across this video, you are inspired by not only this video, but other videos on my channel, and you realize that truly your company and your career and your consulting services are really what you make them. It's about the energy that you put into them. And that's literally all I have. Thank you so much for sticking with me during this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next upload.